Hello and welcome back to the best darn show you're ever going to watch on the best darn internet with the best darn crew on the best darn channel that ever was. It's the Working Perspectives Podcast presents The Retorted Show. I'm Matt Lavelle and he's Burn Poxy. We got a great show for you today. We're going to whack up some NFL venting and then some crazy NFL stats and stuff. Then we're going to go into an unbelievably cool story that we're going to talk about and then hit you with some fun facts and call it a day. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to move fast. You're going to enjoy the hell out of it. Burn! You got a vent.
Oh, Matty, I got a vent. It's, we're hitting you with some football stuff, guys, because we're excited. We love the game. We love the sport. Football. Season just started, so it's on our brains. It's on our minds. I don't know if there's something I like so much that brings me so much pain on a normal basis. Like, there are very few things that hurt me this consistently that I just keep on coming back to. I mean, like, yeah. My ex-wife didn't even get that deal. So flash to the weekend, right? We're having a fun weekend.
What has more rings, the Giants or your ex-wife?
The Giants. That's for sure. My brother Mike was home golfing all day long. Gaffing. We got a couple TVs set up outside. We had the Big Thrill Nick Gill. We had Joe Shields. We had my buddy Roach. We're all over here to watch Notre Dame on Saturday night. Tough L against Miami early on this year. Keep that in mind. We'll circle back on that. We'll talk
more about Miami later, for sure.
We'll circle back on that. Big game against A&M. Notre Dame gets walked off on an extra point. Game over. We are 4 weeks into the college football season. My beloved Fighting Irish are 0-2 and pretty much need to beat everybody they play by 1,000 points to have a chance to be alive at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's sad. This is the same team that was in the national championship last year and earned it, right? Like, how many times did being a Notre Dame fan, they said, like, oh, they're going to let Notre Dame go? Like, the two teams are Notre Dame and LSU or Notre Dame and Bama. Dude, they beat Georgia and Penn State on the way there. Shut up. They earned it.
You're damn right. And hopes were really, really high for this season. Now, to Notre Dame's credit, they started off playing number 5 Miami and number 9 Texas A&M. So they opened their schedule with a real slobber knocker.
Good. Hey,
meanwhile,
test their mettle.
Alabama's playing Alabama State. Penn State played Villanova last week. You know what I mean? A lot of these teams start off cream puffs, not the Fighting Irish. So that one hurt because my expectations were high, and we had to watch a whole game where they got walked off. Now we'll jump to Sunday, where I'm getting ready for my beloved /
I had a great Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I almost had a great Sunday, Matt. I almost had a great one because I walked into 1:00 kickoff. It was the Giants versus the Cowboys in Dallas. Hopes were not high. Hopes were not super high. After the Giants couldn't move the ball against the Commies week 1, I was waiting for a drummer. Instead, we got a back and forth overtime game that produced almost 1,000 yards of offense. Yeesh. We saw Russell Wilson throw for his career high 458 yards. Our second-year wide receiver, Leaky Neighbors, is the real deal Holyfield. And now you hookers and hoes know exactly how I feel. Only to then be walked off with a few seconds left by Brandon Aubrey, former Notre Dame soccer player, now kicker for the Dallas Cowboys, in overtime. Back-to-back walk-off losses in a football weekend is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And the killer is they got my hopes up, Matty. They got my hopes up. What's the most dangerous thing in the world, Matt? Hope. It's the most dangerous thing in the world. The game started. I didn't have much hope. And slowly, as the game went on, and Russ Bus was turning back the clock, and our young receivers were catching the ball. We had Cam Scatterbo. Love me some Scatterbo.
I'll tell you,
was scooting around.
All-white team for sure. Love Scatterbo. He's
got
going to be on that all-white team, son.
He got in the zone. It was a lovely game until we let the Dallas Cowboys kick a 64-yard field goal at the end of regulation to send it to overtime. Then both teams got the ball twice. Dallas wins. Last time the Giants have won against the Cowboys was the year that Jerry World was built. First game in the new stadium. Giants go there Thursday night, smack the Cowboys around. Eli Manning famously signs the locker room with a permanent marker. Jerry Jones had to go in there the following week and cut the brick out of his newly built visitors' locker room. Dak Prescott has never lost to the Giants. 8 years in the league, never lost to the Giants. It's just a circus of pain. And Maddie, there's some games I don't expect the Giants to be great this year. I don't even expect them to be that good. But there's certain teams you really want to win. Like if you can just get that Cowboys win week 2, you at least feel like screwed. Like it's division, right? Cowboys, right. Eagles, Commies. Like those are the games. If you're only going to get a couple games, you want it to be those, and you especially want it to be Cowboys in Dallas. That's the one you want. I don't like the Eagles. I don't like the
better
Commies.
Place to. I mean, besides the link, no better place to win.
But I probably hate the Eagles now more than I hate the Cowboys. But I've hated the Cowboys for a lot longer. A lot longer. So just a weekend of heightened expectations and crushing walk-off losses. Bright side of the weekend, the boy had his first soccer game, U9.
Okay.
Scored 5.
Talk to me.
Scored 5. They won 7-4. He dropped 5 in there. They had to move him back to defense later on. He was torching him up. Looked like goddamn Ronaldo on the field. Couldn't be more proud. So that was the bright. That was the bright.
He scored 5? Did he have any assists?
He tried, but the 2 other goals that were scored off of rebounds from his shots of kids falling.
Isn't he only, he's 8, right? Your son?
He's 8. Yep.
So it's U9, so he's not even like the oldest he can be in that league anyway, which is wild.
He was the tallest, though. He was the tallest kid on the field. So
I mean, he's got them podcasts. He's got them podcasts.
Both his mama and papa are tall drinks of water. So
sure.
But that was the first thing, man. That happened Saturday morning. So I'm on cloud 9.
You're jonesing.
I'm feeling great. Then Notre Dame chips me down a little bit, and the Giants finish it off on Sunday.
Man,
God
tough.
damn it.
I mean, yeah.
Brutal, that's a team that sucks. Let's talk about a team that doesn't suck. Ladies and gentlemen.
I just say, you have to play the Chiefs next week.
Yeah.
And they almost, they tried to give them one against us this week. So they're definitely going to try to give them one against you guys.
Mahomes has lost 3 games in a row. You know when the last time Mahomes lost 3 games in a row?
When?
2016 at Texas Tech.
No shit.
He has never lost. It's the first time he's ever lost 3 games in a row in his NFL career. Super Bowl, week 1 against the Chargers, week 2 against the Eagles. So now we're looking for the Giants to what? Put 4 in a row on Mahomes?
Wow. Yeah.
Literally never even come close to happening. So yeah, we're in for another.
I would love. I mean, did you see what Jalen Hurts said to Chris Jones at the end of the game?
No.
Chris Jones. So they're doing victory formation, right?
Yeah.
The birds, they're kneeling it out, And Chris Jones is like, "You suck. You didn't even have 100 yards today." And then Jalen Hurts just looks at him and goes, "Shut your ass up. We won the game."
That's that. I still feel like the Eagles are playing with people right now. I feel like they're just we'll do just enough. Like I don't think we've seen what they're capable of.
They haven't unleashed the beast. You know what I mean? Like also it's like they're trying to make sure everyone gets stuff. Like, dude, there's gonna be a game where it's just like, hey, this is Saquon's takeover. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or this is AJ Brown's dominance. You know what I mean? Like also don't let us just start running the ball on you. Because once that offensive line gets going, they're the meanest sons of bitches in the NFL. They'll just demoralize you, dude. And I love it.
I saw a great aerial picture of the tush push where it showed that there was 4 offensive players offsides, but also 4 defensive players offsides. Like I think the refs have just figured out. They're like, listen, we can't even see where the ball is. The center's so far over the ball. Like, whatever. We're just gonna let it go. But like both teams were way offsides. It doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't matter. No one's getting an advantage there. Everyone's
the neutral zone infractions are just
they just throw it. The tush push for whatever reason they just throw it right out the window. They're like, how are we going to figure this out? They're literally all piled up on each other to start. We can't see what's going on there.
No. So I mean, good stuff, dude. I'll tell you, one team that has impressed me really so far a lot in the first 2 weeks, the team that I'm in the NFC, at least I'm the most scared of, Green Bay
Green Bay.
Packers.
Yeah.
They look good. I mean, beating Detroit, beating up on, I mean, Chicago is what it is. But, dude, how did Indianapolis do this week?
Oh, that's the icing on the cake, baby. Danny Dimes 2-0. The Colts have yet to punt this season.
Wow. Unbelievable. I
They
mean,
have scored on
the
every
Broncos aren't a
offensive drive.
bad team
They
either,
were supposed to be a top 3 defense in the NFL.
Right.
The Colts got bailed on that, though. They called that bullshit leverage penalty on the guy trying to block the 60-yard field goal. You're not like,
Yeah.
I don't think he used another player for it. It was rough, but yeah, Danny Dimes, the guy the Giants cut last year, has led his team on 9 consecutive
Do you
scoring
think
drives.
do you
10
think
consecutive
Joe
scoring drives.
Shane feels vindicated that like he's like, I believed in this Danny Dimes guy the whole time. I always sold it, I always had him and you guys
No,
never believed me. Now look at him. No.
no, because Shane
Nothing can
wasn't there.
vindicate Joe Shane because he's a
Shane
piece of
wasn't there when
shit.
Shane wasn't there when they drafted him. So
Oh,
Shane can't
so
take any
fuck
credit
it.
for him. He can't take it. Neither was Dable. They can't take any credit for him.
Oh my God, dude. I mean, but yeah, the Dolphins are just a dumpster fire this year, so they smoked them. Dude, I think the Dolphins, that whole like magic cool guy head coach shit, that is over.
DJ
Over.
Mike DJ Mike McDaniel. Yeah, he looks like he's gonna be back in the club spinning soon. I'll tell you what though,
I mean,
Tyreek
there's just
Hill.
no respect from the players, I think.
Tyreek had an interesting comment after the game.
Oh, another one. What did he say?
Well, maybe it's time to go home.
Wow.
Maybe it's time to
Wow.
go home. And with all the wide receiver problems happening on the Chiefs
Yeah.
right now,
And they lost what's his face, the quick guy. Fuck.
Rice is suspended,
Worthy.
Xavier Worthy's hurt.
Yeah. Travis can't fucking do any. I mean,
Travis looks
dude,
big.
I hated so much when he did the stiff arm to DeJean and then flexed, and everyone like they got up for it, and then like what, a couple plays later, fucking
Yeah.
dropped the ball right into the game ceiling. You know what I mean? Like, what a fucking
His,
cunt.
his hands were slow, his head was around. I thought he did the marbles thing after that from Major League Two. I thought he was doing the marbles thing after the stiff arm.
You have no.
Marbles.
No, he tried to do like the flexing thing, which is
Okay.
like, buddy, shut up.
I just saw the arms going down, and I was wondering if there was a little pitter patter on
You
those
have
hands.
no. I mean, honestly, if he did do that, I'd hate it, but I wouldn't. I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking
dropping
great.
the marbles is always funny.
You have no marbles. Yeah.
But yeah,
So
Tyreek, teammate of the year. I think he had 4 children last year by 4 different women. Like he was literally having. Tyreek's got 9 kids. He was having.
damn,
I think
that's Cromartie numbers.
I think it is. It is. He's racing Cromartie numbers. The NFL's now investigating some domestic violence charge against him or potential charge against him. And Dolphins are 0-2, and he's like, I think it's time to go. I'm going to tell make public. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. Maybe it's time for me to go home.
Cancer to a locker room. Burn.
Well,
have you ever had to deal with that? Having a wide receiver who was a locker room cancer that disrupted an entire franchise post being, a possible Super Bowl contender.
No.
Mm.
No.
Mm.
At
least he didn't shoot himself in the dick.
It was are you talking about Harrison Smith, also known as Plaxico Burress, whose son is now a wide receiver on Notre Dame's team?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a fraud.
Oh,
he hasn't seen much run yet. But nothing great, nothing better than shooting yourself when your gun falls out of your sweatpants and shoots yourself in the leg after you win a Super Bowl and you go to the imagine walking into a hospital, what's your name? Harrison Smith, like, sir, you're in New York. You are 6'6", and we just saw you catch the winning touchdown against an undefeated Patriots team. We know you're Plaxico Burress. You're kind of a unique looking guy. Like,
yeah.
Now, that's my second favorite alias of all time in the NFL. My first favorite was Atlanta and Philadelphia's own Michael Vick, who used to pick up his Valtrex medication under the moniker Ron Mexico.
Remind me, Bern, what is Valtrex a medication for?
Uh, Herpes. Treats herpes. And the only reason that
Man,
came out was because he got sued civilly by a woman who claimed Michael Vick gave me herpes. And they had
I
to go
mean, he's
investigate and found out he was also known as Ron. You ever met anybody in the last name? I mean, at least I've met guys named Smith before. I've never met anyone with the last name Mexico.
Ron Mexico. Pretty great.
Pretty great. Pretty great.
Pretty great. I mean, he's ribbed for your pleasure, Bern. So there you go. All right,
Yeah.
Bern. Are you done venting?
I'm done venting. We'll get ready for the Chiefs. Notre Dame's got Purdue this week. Hopefully they can. Yeah, it's
The
a 3:30 game.
Boilermakers? What
Hopefully they
happened to the
can.
Boilermakers? They used to have some players, but who knows? All right, let's talk. So, Bern, you glanced over Notre Dame against Miami week 1 of the
Mhm.
college football season, but I want to talk about Miami, and I want to talk about specifically the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. You ready for some of this stuff, Daddy?
Buddy, I remember how good they were, but when you started reading me stats, it was absolutely
It's
jaw dropping.
stupendous. So, are you ready?
Let's do it, man. This is
All
going to be a
right.
good one.
So, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, they're widely considered to be one of the greatest college teams of all time. Maybe just one of the greatest teams of all time after you hear
Hmm.
these stats, right? So, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, they scored 512 points in their 2001 season. That was 42.6 points per game. They led up 117 points, right? That's 9.75 points per game allowed. They allowed 9.75 points per game.
While scoring
Unbelievable.
almost 43.
So the average margin they had per game of the spread was
Yeah.
32.9 points a game was the spread. That's the largest in the school's history. And then while they needed decisive plays late in the fourth quarter to secure victories over Boston College and Virginia Tech that year, Miami won every other game on its schedule by at least 22 points, and they set the NCAA record for the largest margin of victory over consecutive ranked teams by beating them 124 and to 7.
Right. And you said they had their only two close games were against Virginia Tech and Boston College.
Yes.
Virginia Tech ended that season ranked 18th, and Boston College ended the season ranked 21st.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's not like, I mean, even the
They
teams they
weren't
had to
playing
struggle with.
bums. Yeah.
The Big East was a beast back
Big
then,
East
man.
was, dude, back in the day, man, they were players, dude. They were really good. But, dude, think about that. They played, so they set the record for largest margin of victory over consecutive ranked teams 124 points to 7 points, which means one touchdown. One.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
124 points. That's crazy, man. And then the offense set a school scoring record for sure. But the defense led the nation in scoring defense and fewest points allowed. They led it in pass defense and turnover margin. Also, the 2001 Miami Hurricane defense scored 8 touchdowns of its own that season. And those points alone would have been enough. Just if they didn't have an offense and just had a defense, Miami still would have had an 8-4 record in 2001. That's how much the Miami defense scored, and that's how much they dominated their opponents.
that's got to be. Can you? That's got to be so fun. Like that's
Oh,
got to be. Can you imagine being a linebacker on that team and just being like,
yeah,
I am having the most fun I've ever. My
yeah,
D line is awesome.
yeah.
Everyone behind me can cover. Like I just get to go balls to the wall at whoever has the ball because I trust everyone else around me is going to make the right play. That's got to be the
Also,
best.
everyone on this team knocks the shit out of people. They knock
Murderers,
the shit out of people.
murderers.
So this 2001 team had 6 All-Americans on it, and then also they had some like award finalists. So Ken Dorsey, he won the Maxwell Award, and he was a finalist in the Heisman voting. He finished third. And then Bryant McKinney won the Outland Trophy, which is, I think it's an O-line trophy, right?
Okay.
Or offensive tackle. So amongst like these guys, this was a star-studded 2001 Miami Hurricanes team, right? Quarterback, they had Ken Dorsey. Running backs, Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, Najee Davenport, and Frank Gore. Tight end, they had Jeremy Shockey. Wide receiver, they had Andre Johnson. Tackle, offensive tackle, they have Bryant McKinney. Defensive lineman, Jerome McDougal and William Joseph and Vince Wilfork. Then linebackers, they had Jonathan Vilma, DJ Williams, and then defensive backs, they had Ed Reed, Mike Rumpf, and Philip Buchanan. And then also, just some other contributors who included future stars. They had Kellen Winslow Jr., Sean Taylor, Antrell Roll, Vernon Carey, and Rocky McIntosh. Right?
That's disgusting.
Disgusting. Here's something even more disgusting, Bron. How many, in 2001, can you tell me how many teams were in the league?
I believe the Panthers and Jags were in by that point.
They
so
were,
I believe
yeah.
we're looking at 32 teams.
32 total teams in the league. That means there were 32 picks in the first round of the NFL draft. Is that correct, Bern?
That is, unless something weird happened where a team lost a draft pick, then there might only be 31, but that's only happened a few times. So I think it's a safe guess there were 32 first-round draft picks.
Well, out of the 32 first-round draft picks, 17 players from the 2001 Miami Hurricanes were drafted in the first round of the NFL draft. 17 players went in the first round. So out of the 32 picks of the first round, 17 of them were from the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, dude.
That's more than half of the first round.
Right.
Can you imagine how fun that was? Like, I bet they should. Hopefully, they had their own draft room. It was like the Miami guys' draft room and then everybody else draft room, because those boys could party a little bit too. So, dude, I mean, 7th floor, that had to be so goddamn fun. Can you imagine how fun that was? And at that point, if you're like, I'm not sure who to draft, and you're drafting like 21, you're like, I don't know, just give me a Hurricane.
Who's like, any Miami players left out
there? Any Miami guys still left out there? Give me one of those. I don't even care what position they play.
Dude,
like,
that was the 2001. That 17. So out of this 2001 team, right? 17 players went in the first round of the 2001 draft. Still from this Miami, class. In 2002, they had 5 players go.
First round.
In the first round. 2003, they had 4. And then 2004, they had 6. Right? So think about that.
So there were freshmen who were sitting on the bench. We didn't even play, get run on this 2001 team, who were good enough to be drafted to the NFL in 2004. On
the roster of this 2001 team, there were 32 total first-round draft picks.
That's outrageous.
Outrageous.
How do you rebuild a team after that? You just lost 32 guys to the league, plus probably a couple dudes who went out and got walk-on gigs. You know?
Dude, yes. So, I mean, this is even crazier. Overall, they would have 38 members of the team would be selected in the NFL draft, and that's as of 2013. This 2001 team, earned a combined 43 trips to the Pro Bowl. So all the players on this team combined for 43 trips to the Pro Bowl, right? Which is insanity.
Well, when you consider the average career of a football player is like 3 years,
right?
That means all these guys were hits. They all hit.
Right. Not for long, right? So the fact that all these guys, I mean, dude, Ed Reed had 9, Andre Johnson had 7 trips to the Pro Bowl, Frank Gore, Vince Wilfork had 5, Shockey went 4 times, Vilma went 3, McGahee, Chris Myers, Clinton Portis, Antrell Roll, and Sean Taylor all went 2. And Sean Taylor would have gone 10.
You know what? That's the one you hear. Sean Taylor might have gone 10 years in a row.
Oh, easily. Dude, he was one of the most feared men in the league, if not the most feared man. Also, then you had like Vilma, Shockey, Wilfork, Joseph, Roll, McKinney, and Reed, they all won Super Bowls eventually. And then it is estimated. So as early as 2009, they did an estimation that it would have costed to build this 2001 Miami team. It would have cost $120 million, and that was as an estimate of in 2009. So now, what's that? $500 million to build
Yeah,
this
I
team?
was going to say probably $500 million, probably a
It
cool
probably
half
costs,
bill.
dude. Even with like the NIL stuff now, it probably costs more than 120 million to build this team now with NIL.
You
You
know what's
know?
crazy too? You mentioned NIL. Obviously, this is pre-official NIL. There's always been a little bit of NIL going on in college sports. Like, guys have always gotten money, but this was football pre-NIL. This is when you went somewhere, and if you wanted to transfer, you had to sit out a year. So you were able to build these deep, deep benches. These guys who, like, obviously there were guys in this team who were like, I could be a starter anywhere else in the country. Imagine being a defensive back on Miami, and you're the seventh guy off the bench, and you're like, I could go to the number 6 team in the country and
Yeah.
start hands down right now. But why not come here, play with the best, play the best competition? Like, I do miss that. I do think the one thing that NIL is killing for me is building longevity of teams. But I mean,
Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear something? This is another amazing stat about the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. Do you want to hear it?
of course I want to hear it.
Okay, so the 2001 Miami Hurricane, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, first, second, and third string running backs, all later became running backs with a start in the NFL, a feat that has only been done 5 other times, and it's only been achieved by the 2010, 2012, 2013, and 2014 Alabama Crimson Tide. They remain the only team to have
Wait,
their
what
first,
about
second, third, and fourth string running backs all later to become running backs in the NFL to start in the NFL.
it's the fourth string? I was going to say Auburn, that Auburn year with Cadillac, Ronnie Brown, and Brandon Jacobs. They were the first, second, third string running backs.
Brandon Jacobs was on that Auburn because I remember
Yeah,
was Jason Campbell was the quarterback.
it was
It was
correct.
Cadillac, Ronnie Brown,
Cadillac, Williams, Ronnie Brown, and Brandon Jacobs. Those are the
damn, that
three
was a
running backs of that
brutal
team.
backfield.
Yeah,
Jason Campbell
BJ.
was a bust for Washington, thank
Dude,
God.
you see a picture of Brandon Jacobs with his kid?
No.
His kid just graduated from high school. He's playing in college. I forget where he's playing right now. This kid is towering over Brandon Jacobs. Towers. I
What?
saw it and I was like, how? This kid's got to be 6'9".
Wow.
I just
He's
saw a
that
picture
big.
and he was like,
Braden
yeah,
Kenneth Jacobs.
and he was dwarfing Brandon Jacobs. And I was,
Oh
Brandon Jacobs
my
is a huge
gosh.
dude. You see
He's
this kid?
massive. Yeah. This guy is huge.
He's a
He's got to play
monster.
lineman or
Oh,
something.
yeah, he's a lineman.
Dude, Jacobs was. Dude, Jacobs, he
You
used to
mentioned,
own like a stable of boxers and he would get booed so bad when he would be at boxing fights. I loved it.
listen, can you imagine being Brandon Jacobs, like the biggest guy in the room, pretty much almost everywhere you go that's not a football locker room your whole life? And then you got to deal with your punk kid who ends up being 6'9". You're like, are you kidding me?
You know how I feel bad for? I feel bad for their toilet. Could you imagine just the abuse that toilet takes by two like 6'9" fucking behemoths? You
Just
know?
monsters. And his wife, I mean,
Jesus.
God,
God.
God bless her.
Yeesh. You know? Man, unbelievable. So, Burn, I mean, this two
Dominance. Dominance.
dominance. Absolute dominance. I mean, when looking at some of the scores that they had too, right? Like they beat, I mean, they whooped Penn State at Penn State 33-7. They beat Rutgers 61-0. You know what I mean? Like they're just killing teams. They beat a number 50, dude. Syracuse was the number 15th ranked team in the country. They beat them 59-0. The next week, they played the number 11th ranked team in the country, the Washington Huskies, and beat them 65-7.
So there you go.
That's the
That's the stretch we were
consecutive
talking
weeks
about.
marking. Yeah,
Yeah.
124-7. The craziest stat is that the Miami Hurricanes, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, had they not had an offense, and the defense, they only went off of defensive scores, they still would have been 8-4. That is the wildest stat, dude. The wildest stat.
Insane.
All right, Brian. Well, that does it for the amazing 2001 Miami Hurricanes. But now it's time to wax intellectual about some other stuff. You want to hear something cool, dude? Well, this
Yeah,
isn't cool,
dude.
but have you heard of the? It's like the Lake Peigneur incident in Louisiana.
Never even heard of the lake. No.
Okay, so Lake Peigneur. Underneath the lake is this, it was like this vast amount of salt. So a salt mine company started in 1910 underneath this lake, right? Salt
Hmm.
mining underneath this lake. So it just so happened this lake was also an oil reserve, right? So in 1980,
Jesus.
Texaco started, getting drilling for oil in this lake, right? So while they were drilling for oil, they accidentally pierced into the salt mine and drilled straight into it while there was 55 salt mine workers in the mine,
Wait,
right?
so they mined this salt mine from 1910 till 1980. They were still
Oh
down
yeah.
there.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. Doing the salt mine thing, and then they found the oil reserve and they're oiling it. They pierced the mine, right? And it's like they're like hundreds of thousands of feet below the surface at this point. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
sure.
And so the miners started to hear like this like rumbling noise, and then they started to see like bloop from the ceiling,
Oh no. That's got
and
to be the
then
absolute most terrifying feeling in the entire
terrifying.
world.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like the ceiling caves in, right? And water just started like gushing into the mine, right? Luckily, all 55 miners were able to get out, but this thing filled up like the mine. Think about it, it's been there since 1910. It was probably like such a big infrastructure and
Huge
filled up
chasm. Yeah.
within minutes, right? The guy running the barge up top, they heard like this clanking sound, right? And they're like, what in the world? And they kept drilling, and then all of a sudden, a massive whirlpool just started to form, like right under their barge, because they had no idea they pierced the surface,
No.
right? So, like, this whirlpool started, and it just forming in the middle of the lake, and all of a sudden, it just got faster and faster and faster. And then all these guys on the barge, they escaped, right? But then the whirlpool, it sucked down the barge, the entire barge. It sucked down an island. There was a house on the island. It sucked down like some boats. It like got some trucks, like a tugboat, like all this stuff. No one died, fortunately,
Wow. That's
right?
amazing.
Yeah. So, and then they said at one point this whirlpool created the largest waterfall in Louisiana. It was literally a 200-foot waterfall in the middle of this lake, and it just was like just pulling in the entire lake, right? And it was filling up these mines that had been down there for, almost like it was 70 years at this point, right? So, also, this lake had a canal leading from the lake to the Gulf of Mexico, right?
So there's
So,
endless water to be sucked down this lake.
correct. Or I should say the Gulf of America, right? So it was such
Mexico's
like
big.
a deep suction from the whirlpool that it went in and it like it hit like the canal was going forced in and it hit like this wall and created this huge geyser that shot up like hundreds of feet in the air, right? And then it did that. The canal reversed from the Gulf. So the the Gulf of America is now they're sucking in salt water into this lake, right?
Salt on salt on salt.
It was a freshwater lake and now it's a saltwater lake, and it's up to like, dude, this lake is now, it's like 1,300 feet deep. You know what I mean? It's like they said it was the largest infrastructure catastrophe with zero casualties in the country's history. And then they said when the the water came rushing back in through the canal from the Gulf of America, they said it was like a tidal wave. It was this massive wave that they thought was gonna like just wipe everything out, and it just went, bloop, you know.
I can't believe, like, I was thinking about, like, obviously your first thought is if you're a miner and then you start to see the water dripping, you're like, I'm dead. So you get the 55 miners out of there. How do you get off of a boat that's already in a whirlpool? Like, that's crazy, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
how do you escape from that? Because
I
if the
mean, they must
whirlpool's
have had a
happening right,
helicopter handy.
I was going to say they had to have some kind of like air support because you're not dropping a small. If the barge is getting sucked down into a whirlpool, you're not dropping
Dude.
a smaller boat in the water and zipping away on it.
Also, like, I just like there must be a thing, if they would have gone from like you're drilling, like, dude, if you like, like you've done like work at your house, like you're drilling through like a board or a wall or something. Eventually, like you're pressing into it, and then it like like you go through,
Yeah,
and it's like, whoa, like. I'd imagine if you're drilling through thousands of feet of earth and all of a sudden there's zero resistance and you poke through, you're just gonna be
yeah.
like, oh, okay, we're good, right? Nothing bad could have happened. We didn't
Nothing
just poke
bad's gonna
through a
happen
hole in the
here.
fucking earth, you know?
Now you
Like,
got a
I
lake
just,
that's like 40% freshwater, 40% saltwater, and like 20% crude.
I mean, now it's just all, I mean, it's Salt City. I mean, dude, the salt from the salt mines, too.
Yeah,
Also, like, what insurance covers this? Like, was the salt mine able to sue Texaco? Because
I'm
technically,
sure.
Texaco ruined their salt mine.
I'm sure, but oil companies have been getting sued for
Yeah.
a hundred years, and they're just like, yeah, we'll just pay it. We have all the money,
We have all the
so
money that
like,
there
don't worry
is.
about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Whatever, you
yeah.
got it. Deal.
Yeah, not a problem. We got an infrastructure. It's a cash business.
Yeah,
But yeah, dude, how crazy is that? Like, imagine being a miner. That's the worst thing ever, you know? And
it
then,
already
dude,
kind of sucks.
right, that's already the worst job. You're like, oh, great. Now it's the, But then, dude, being on the barge, when you hear like the first crank of the barge being like, what is going, I would lose my mind, dude. I would be like, whoa, tough.
No fatalities is incredible. Like,
Incredible. Shout out to whoever Louisiana, Lake Peigneur Rescue is. They were
yeah,
on
the
their
first
shizzle.
response, whatever. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah. Either that or the insurance just didn't report, you know?
Wow, what do you mean?
Insurance would never do that. We know
They would
that.
never do that.
So, Benoit,
Wow.
that does it for like the cool story, right? Pretty
Yeah,
cool
that was
story.
a very cool story and with a happy ending. I mean,
Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Dude, did you know we talked for almost a half an hour about the 2001 Miami Hurricanes?
we could talk for another half an hour about the Miami
They're
2001 Miami
incredible. They're
Hurricanes. What a
incredible.
beast squad there, man.
But Byrne, would you like fun fact time?
Oh, you know me, and I love my fun facts. Fun
I
facts.
know you love fun facts. I know. Dude, so one of the things I've always wondered, like, I've heard so many different versions of the story of like the okay thing, right? So someone said like it meant old Kinderhook. So if you were from old Kinderhook, you'd be okay. But another story is
Well,
is
who was the
that
president that we called Old Kinderhook? There's a U.S.
Woodrow
president.
Wilson, maybe?
Yeah, but I mean, like that like I'm with that guy. I'm okay. I'm Old Kinderhook.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I think it's Woodrow Wilson, but it's Kinderhook's like a place in New York, so whatever.
Right.
But just saying, I heard it was from there and like something else, but just found this out. So this is another origin story of OK. So in the 19th and 20th century, a ton of Greeks immigrated to the United States and they worked the docks because Greek, I guess is it a peninsula, but it's like it's tons of little islands and stuff. So they're used to working in the water. You know what I mean? So they would be inspecting cargo and that were
It was
shipped in, and if everything was good, right, and in order, they would say it was Olkala. So Olkala, Okala, right? And so, which later got shortened to OK.
interesting. Just to put a little bow on that last one, Martin Van Buren was
Old
Old
Kinderhook.
Kinderhook, and
Thank
the
you.
reason for that was he was the first U.S. president to be born a U.S. citizen.
Oh.
His life spanned from the Revolutionary War all the way up until the Civil War. So
Oh,
you got to see some crazy
wow.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Little fun
Good for
fact on a fun
him.
fact. Little hat on a hat.
Love a little facty factors.
And also Van Buren's fit, his style was insane. Total chrome dome, huge Doc Brown hair, massive white chop sideburns. Van Buren was a man's man of his
Tell me
day.
more, Daddy. Let me tickle
Chrome
that
dome,
fancy.
Doc Brown, big chunky white sideburns,
Just
eating the
let
whole
Daddy
face up.
smack. Let Daddy
Right?
smack. Daddy wants to smack. Let Daddy smack.
I like his style.
Here's another thing. So here we go. Next fun fact. In the cowboy era, right? Old West cowboy era.
Sure.
If you entered a saloon low on cash, you could offer the bartender a bullet in exchange for a small drink of what was usually whiskey, right? This became known as a shot of whiskey.
No way.
That's where a shot came from. How cool is that? That's pretty great.
I got more bullets than money.
I got more bullets than money. I'll trade you a bullet for a hit of whiskey. All right, give me a shot of whiskey. Bam. Here's a bullet. Like, that is awesome, right?
At that point, too, the shot glass was probably about the same height as a bullet you would put.
Yeah. That
on
and
the
it's
bar.
like, the shot glass is, I think it's an ounce, right?
It should be an ounce and a half.
All right, there you go. So that's it. I wonder if a bullet weighs an ounce and a half.
That's interesting. Maybe Bullet Rye,
Right?
Bullet Whiskey. That's a good name for that company. Then I never realized how cool that was.
So here we go. Ready for another gimmick?
Yeah,
I like that. That's a pretty fun fact, right?
dude. I mean, just think about like how the economy worked at that point, where you're like, there was more. The odds were you had more bullets than dollars on you.
In the old West, everyone had a 6-shooter, Daddy. You know what I mean?
Right, and you need to make sure you can refill that bad boy. But I mean, maybe you're in a town where you're like, all right, I'm getting along pretty well here. They like me over here.
Dude, imagine the bartender's like, well, I know I'm going to need these later, so, load me up. Less you have, better for me, I bet. And like, okay,
Imagine the guy who gets so drunk the night before, and then the next day just goes to fucking pull that 6-shooter. It's like click, 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 click. Oh, that's why I have such a headache right now. I traded all my bullets for whiskey.
So, speaking of drink fun facts, Bern, here you go. So, originally, a cocktail, the term a cocktail, was a word used to describe a horse whose tail was raised upwards like a rooster, right?
Okay.
So, rather than hanging down, like these horses were not purebred, meaning they were mixed with, at time, people also started calling drinks that were different mixes a cocktail.
Interesting.
So the term cocktail, the original term cocktail, it came from a horse who was a mixed breed horse that their tail didn't hang low, it popped up high, right?
And that
like
was
a rooster's.
I guess a good indicator that like this horse is not a purebred.
Correct. So they saw that, okay, if they had this tail like this, it was definitely not a purebred horse. So when they start doing mixed drinks, right, because it's a mix of a bunch of different ingredients, they start calling it a cocktail.
What a bunch of fun facts that this lifelong bartender restaurant guy is just learning right now.
I know. I wish I had that shot gimmick back in the day, because I would have been like, well, you know why they call it a shot, right? Blow me and I'll tell you. Hello.
We're like, oh, you're out of money? You got any bullets on you? We still honor the Old West traditions here at Graham's Pub, Landing 3, home of the brave.
Bullets or a beach, babe.
We'll trade you bullets or a beach.
Gas, ass, or grass, Daddy. So, next fun fact. Here we go. In ancient Rome, you heard of it? They believe that people's moods were changed on a night of a full moon, right? So people who were misbehaving on a night of a full moon were considered lunatics, as
lunar,
as the Latin word for moon is luna.
Yeah.
So lunatic came from, because they thought like a full moon brought out the crazies. So if you were crazy going nuts on a full moon, they called you a lunatic.
Hey man, listen, going back to the bartender gig, how many times you work in a bar and some weird shit happens and someone goes, it's a full moon tonight.
God.
Full moon on a first of the month Friday? We are getting all the weirdos. Everyone got their checks,
Something's
and all the
happening.
weirdos are coming out tonight.
Oh yeah, Mother's Day, all that, So next one, in the Old West, right?
Can I just say real quick? It would be
Talk to me.
so nice to go while out and just have a weird one, and the next day be like, "I'm sorry, guys, it wasn't me. It
Right,
was the full moon." And everybody's like,
guys,
"Yeah, no, we know, bud. We know, bud.
yeah.
We know
Oh,
you're
dude,
particularly sensitive to the moon. Like, we'll wash it all away."
Oh, dude, you tried to, you smacked all our moms and then felt up all our wives, dude. We totally get it. It was a
We
full
get it. Full
moon.
moon, man. Yeah,
Full
it's not your
moon.
fault. It's all
All is
good.
forgiven. Come on. It was a full moon.
Don't sweat it. It was a full
Don't
moon,
sweat it. Don't worry. We all wanted to rob that bank, dude. You
right?
know? So, all right. Next, that's a great point. Next fun fact. In the Old West, bits were a type of currency, right? 2 bits, 8 bits, whatever. 8 bits would be totaling $1, right? So, with time, a little bit became known as a small amount, you know, of
Okay, yeah,
cash.
yeah. A little bit,
When you
little
say a
bit.
little bit,
You got a little bit,
you got a little bit.
little bit.
you know 8 bits. So what is, I mean, eight
12 and
bits
a
is
half
a
cents.
$1. 12 and a half
12,
cents
12 and a half cents is what that would come out to.
Damn, they had a 12.5 cent bit. That's weird. But Burn, that's all I got for fun
I don't
facts,
want to
old
get,
phrases, and all that stuff.
listen, they got rid of the 12. The point is, we can change our money. They got rid of the 12 and a half bit, right? Eventually, they just put two together and made them quarters. Can we all be grown-ups now and get rid of the penny? And I'm going to go
Please.
one farther. Can we all be grown-ups and get rid of the nickel? Can we just go quarter, dime, half dollar? I mean, wouldn't
Can I tell
that
you
make the
this,
most
Burn?
sense?
You want a little sleeper fun fact?
Yeah, of course I do.
Costs 3 cents to make a penny.
Right? And I believe the US Mint has to replace up to $14 million per year of thrown away pennies. So it's like a part of currency that people just throw away. Like
Don't care about.
they don't even keep it. So it doesn't stay in the rotation. But in
Nope.
order for the mint to balance, they have to replace everything that, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you can't just have money disappear from circulation. So not only does it cost 3 cents to make a penny, but then it costs $14 million to replace all the pennies that people just fucking throw on the street.
You know,
There's no
it's like
need
they
for a
don't
penny.
even want them.
There's no need for a penny. And honestly, there's no need for a nickel. Dime, quarter, half dollar. Let's go. Let's make this easy, guys. We don't need
Yeah,
to do. Lincoln's already on the 5. He's not going to be butthurt that the penny went
no,
away.
sure.
I forget who's on the nickel. Hamilton, Jefferson,
Couldn't tell you.
right? Because no one gives a shit.
Couldn't give
Dime,
two
quarter,
shits.
half dollar. Let's get the half dollar back in the mix. Let's take the
Sure.
money we're spending on pennies and nickels, put them into the
Right.
half dollar, and everything just ends up being a multiple of 10.
Right. Right.
Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Let's grow up.
What are we even doing
Let's
here?
grow up. Let's grow up.
Grow up. Grow
Let's
the
grow
fuck
up.
up. Grow
Grow the fuck
up.
up.
Grow
Hey,
up.
grow up.
Grow up. You fucking stoons. So, Burn. Well, that does it. That does it, Daddy. So, we're coming towards the top of time. Anything you want to say?
No, I said my piece. Get rid of the stupid coins that we use. For all you people who like Maddie's Delco impersonation of mediocre and dickhead, go check out the HBO show Task. They are doing some amazing Delco accents over on Task.
Awesome.
Really crushed it.
Great. Maeve is great.
Really
Maeve is great.
crushing the Delco.
Also, I like that the name Maeve is coming back. I got a girl on my soccer team, Maeve. She's a great
Remember
great
my
player.
roommate Kim?
Yeah.
Kim and Andrew have a daughter. Her name's Maeve. You know where they
No
got it
kidding.
from? Westworld. Westworld brought the name with Maeve back. Tandy Newton being
Sounds good.
super hot.
I love Sandy Newton. Oh
Yeah.
God, I love Sandy. Oh,
She was Maeve on Westworld, the hooker with the heart of gold.
Sandy and rock and roller.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
All right,
Maeve's
Burn.
back, baby.
Well, speaking of Maeve being back, there's been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast presents The Retorted Show. I'm Matt Lavelle, he's Burn Poxy, and in case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. Hang out with us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com, and please like and subscribe. We'll keep bringing this incredible content. Thank you so much for listening. Catch you on the flip side. Thanks. See ya!